Spoiler! This is the XM69 Hacker, and it might now be the best medium tank in the entire game. You see, this tank is a perfect go anywhere, do whatever you want medium tank. It has the best gun handling in the game when you use the ability, and even when it's not using the ability, it still has one of the best as well. This is going to be my full review of the Hacker, and also whether or not it is worth grinding to go and get one of these things. First things first, let's start out by the base values of the Hacker. As you'll see, this has no crew, this has no upgrades, this has no equipment or consumables, which is why everything's in red. By default, you have 410 average damage with 273 standard penetration. The premium round then bumps it up to 335, and that is using heat. The HE on this vehicle is not very good, but it is 55, so you can pen some stuff that you meet. And if you do, that gives you 510 alpha damage. The reload time is 8.01 seconds, and that nets you 3073 DPM. And since this is base DPM, this is extremely good. You then have 0.34 accuracy and a 1.73 second aim time. The tank that you were previously playing at tier 10, which is the M48 pattern, has exactly the same gun, just less alpha and less pen. The reload time stays the same, as well as dispersion and aim time, hence why you have more DPM than the M48. You have 2,100 hit points, which is near tier 10 heavy tank levels for a medium tank. For the mobility, you go 48 km/h forwards with 20 in reverse and a 21 power to weight. So by default, more than mobile enough to get around the map, and with a turbo, you're then going to have even more opportunities to do a lot of damage. The camo rating is not super great. You only have 12%, which is definitely not on the higher end for a medium tank. However, your view range is 420 base, which is in line with tier 10 light tanks. Now, when you compare a base Hacker to an upgraded Hacker, you'll see that there is definitely a difference, but it's not like it's a massive difference. You do get 10 more alpha damage, and you also get 5 more penetration. This is also the same for the premium round. You do have the same reload time, but because of the alpha damage increase, your DPM has gone up. You also get better dispersion, better aim time, and also 1 degree more gun depression. Now, will you notice the gun depression increase? Maybe. Maybe not. But to have more gun depression, and especially hitting that 10 degrees mark, there are ridgelines in the game where it just feels more comfortable. You have also increased your hit points by 100. The engine power has increased by 50, which means the power to weight has gone up by 1. And your top forward speed, nothing in reverse, has gone up by 2. But really, these upgrades are not so much to do with the actual stats of the vehicle. It's more to do with the ability of the vehicle. For those of you that are unaware, all the tier 11s have a special ability, apart from the Contriever. For the Hacker ability, you get a gun handling buff. You also receive extra engine power, traverse speed, but the dispersion goes down by 6% of whatever you have already. So let's say that I have 0.3 over here for my dispersion at 100 meters. This will then go down by 6%. But by far the biggest impact is the dispersion for the bloom levels goes down massively. You basically have 0 bloom when you are using this ability. And the thing is, the Hacker already kind of has class leading bloom levels. 0.07 on moving and tank traverse, as well as 0.06 for the turret traverse. Meaning that no, you should never ever be needing to use a stab on this vehicle. In a way, the Hacker's ability doesn't really matter as much as other vehicles, because your gun is already extremely good. Yes, the ability is very nice and it will help you out, but it's not like it's a must-have ability. When looking at the armor models, you will see that the Hacker doesn't really have any hull armor. I mean, you have 200 on lower plate and 210 on the upper hull. You can side scrape because you do have 76mm of side armor, so you're not really going to get overmatched either. But you'll see on the turret there is lots of sloping, and there is lots of auto ricochet spots on the turret. Even if you were to fire heat, you'll see that only to the right and the left of the gun you can pen. Everywhere else is not really going to happen. And also the gun mantlet itself is around about 280mm thick, so yes, even if you use heat, you can brute force your way through it. But I feel like this armor layout is actually very good, because you're not just going to have a turret that is an auto pen, and if they don't aim well, or they get a little bit of bad RNG at distance, for example, they'll probably end up bouncing because they'll miss. Up close and personal, there's no issue penning the Hacker, or at least there shouldn't be. But from mid to longer range distances, and let's face it, the Hacker's gun is very good at mid range, you could have a little bit of trouble penning it. Oh, and by the way, the rear is only 25.4mm thick, so you can overmatch the rear every single time. Let's now go ahead and talk about the equipment setups, and I think there are a few that you can use. This is quite a flexible vehicle. At the moment, I am using turbo, rammer, and vents, but you could very easily switch out the vents for hardening if you so choose. This vehicle does sometimes have a problem with the ammo rack, so you could switch out the hardening for experimental hardening. One of the upgrades is actually track HP, so you could easily go ahead and use experimental hardening without any issues. I think that the main two are really turbo, rammer, and then the third slot is really just down to you, whichever you feel comfortable with. For the crew, you want the default kind of setup with the brothers in arms, repairs, recon, situation awareness, the usual culprits. shots. But the only one I think that a lot of people will debate is if they want camo on this tank. For me, I haven't transferred my pattern crew, so I've started a new crew for this vehicle. At the moment, I have 3 of them which have camo, and the last one doesn't. This then gives me 24.39% camo rating, that's stationary, and 19% on the move. For the rest of the perks that I would be choosing on this crew is going to be Deadeye and Designated Target. I don't think you need Snapshot, not with this ability or this gun handling stats. For the driver, I'll be taking Engineering and Controlled Impact, and for the loader, I will be taking Ammo Tuning and Perfect Charge. And then the bonus perk will be Signal Interception. Anyway, I think it's about time we went and saw a game now. So welcome to Malanovka, and as you'll see, I am using the proper tryhard loadout. This is on my press account, but this is how I would play this tank on my main account if I had it. Because I think that by the time you get to tier 11, I'm not going to just play this like a peasant loadout, right? I want to have the best of the best if I have a tier 11, which is the best of the best, or meant to be the best of the best. As you'll see, I'm just going to pause it here for a second. On the right-hand side here, this is your ability. You have a cooldown, and then once that runs out, or ends, you then have this, which you can activate by default using the X key. Now, once you do, you'll see that the gun handling is already pretty good, but once you activate it, your gun handling then becomes, yeah, pinpoint accurate. Which does make me wonder why the Leo 120 didn't get this ability rather than whatever it gets at the moment, because, yes, spoiler alert, the Leo 120 ability isn't great. But there you go, goodbye Mr. Batchat, just like that. And then I have a nice 30-second cooldown. Once that's over, bang, you activate it again. That then gets activated for, I believe, 15 seconds, and then you just rinse and repeat. But in between those, you'll see that the gun handling isn't bad at all. We're not using stab on this vehicle. This is pure how the gun handling is. I believe we are using snapshot, I think, on this, but that's besides the point. I know I said I wasn't going to use it, but on the press account I did. And you'll see, shot after shot, 4,000 DPM, or over 4,000 DPM, I believe this is. With the equipment that I have. And even though that, yes, we are in tier 11, I don't want to overpeak. Right? If I overpeak to try and get shots on the other hacker and also the, I believe there's a retriever that's over this hill, you don't want to do that, right? Because you don't have loads and loads of armor. Just stay on this hill, control the engagement, because these are kind of just stuck here. I could go off all the way to the right-hand side and then try to get shots, like, for example, if I went over to this bush, but it's not really worth it. Because if I get spotted, I then get shot by everybody at the back of the map, like the Leo 1. We activate the ability. Look at this gun handling. It's just so good. And yes, I could switch to APCR here. It's a bit of a misplay, but it's okay. Honestly, this is on a press account that I have 10 billion credits. I think we're okay if we spam a little bit of gold. Yes, better players would have managed their ammo better than me, but there you go. Now we need to try and kill this retriever. He's moving backwards. This is kind of just a free farm at this point. The VKB is still behind it that we shot earlier. So he's still in the bushes or the forest of death. And trying to get shots into the retriever. I don't know whether or not... Well, I don't even know where that went. Maybe the VKB, but I doubt it. I think the VKB is even further behind that. But already up to 3k damage. And we really haven't done much. We noticed that the Charfuture is over there. Activate the ability. You saw the gun dispersion just drop dramatically, and you can quickly get shot after shot into this. It really is just beautiful using this ability. And again, another hacker. Don't quite have the shot though, so we're just going to wait a few seconds. You don't really need to do anything from here, if I'm honest. Like, there's no real point of me rushing down to where the tier 03 is, because they could actually just go back up the hill and then start shooting us. Whereas if I stay over here, I'm getting free farm onto all of these people. Right, the Leo 1 is over there, making sure that I have the shot. We don't have the ability yet, so we can't do anything about that. In 1 second, we will have it. I don't know if I activate it or not. I don't bother. Okay, we save the ability. But the hacker is still over there. Now, I could quite easily go and be where this tier 03 is right now. And to be honest with you, it might be okay if I do that. But, as I said before, I'm scared that all of these people are just going to suddenly come up this side, and then they free farm this, and then they own the hill. And if that's the case, we then lose the game pretty easily. It's 4-5 at the moment, and we're 1.2k HP down. And they're in our base. So, yeah, if you look at the minimap, it's not looking so great. Also, I didn't even notice at the time, but that tree just fell. Like this one right here. So, yeah. I kind of sit here for a little bit, wondering what to do. Sometimes doing nothing is the best option. Ooh, Mr. Hacker. Activate the ability again. At this point, I am starting to think that they're probably going to start pushing this, especially as the tier 03 has just died. This is not going to be a great situation that I'm going to end myself in. Because yeah, they could quite easily put... And here comes the phase 1. I wasn't really expecting the phase 1, if I'm honest. I was more expecting the VKB or someone. But I also can't over-peak this, because I don't know what's behind them. The hacker could have gone round, the Lear 1 could have gone round into the forest. Either any of one of these could be just sitting there waiting for me. And if I over-peak this too much, I then end up getting shot by a Char as well, which is completely unspotted, and I have no chance of spotting him in return. So I need to stay down low over the right-hand side. We are getting a little bit unlucky with these pens. We do have 340 heat, but we're not hitting the cheeks flush on the phase 1. So we're now up to 6,000 damage. And I'm starting to think, well, I mean, I want to finish this off. I'm waiting for the Badger to come and help me. The Object 430 is also here. We can start to do a lot of damage into these. I'm going to try and blind fire, I think, the Char, wherever he last was. Because we obviously know that we got shot at from over that way. So blind fire a few different bushes. Don't think we really hit anything. Now it's time to try and knock out all of these that are on the hill. And then maybe think about trying to go back to the middle of the map. That's the thought process that's going through my mind right now. Again, we're getting so unlucky with this. If we hit that flush, by the way, like right next to the cheeks, then it's an easy pen. But we don't. Only exposing the turret as well against the phase 1. He's firing only AP, so he doesn't really stand much of a chance to pen me. If it was heat, a bit different. The RT is over there. Do I put one blind in? I don't think I do, because I realised that it was way too far away. And now I'm realising, okay, hill is done. We've done 6.8k damage. We've done more than what we need to do over here. The Leo and the Char can't really push the hill. The Badger's on it. The 430's on it. If they push, they die. It's now time to go back to the middle of the map to try and help them out. Maybe kill the hacker. Maybe try and kill the T95. The hacker gets spotted over there still, so we know where he is at all times. I believe I'm trying to get a shot on the T95 though. Yes, the hacker, if he pulls up, like up to the top, then I can shoot him. But if he stays in that little dip, I can't do much about him. So right now, what we're going to be doing is just waiting for this T95 to get spotted. We still have our Batchat, which is lurking around over there, which should be able to spot the T95, which he does. Put one into him, activate the ability as well to make sure that we get the kill. And then we're going to move on to the hacker. There he is over there. With the ability activated, there's no chance of me missing this. And we can then push over into the middle bit. Come on, Max, push over into the middle bit. Sorry, sometimes my brain gets a bit delayed and Come on. Chop, chop. There we go. Right, into this little bit where the Malshan has died. Because... Whew, you know what? I forgot I hit that shot. We push over into this bit because then I have a hold down against the hacker, which is down here. And I should have nice, easy shots. The only thing I need to be worried about is the FE at the very back of the map. So we go over to here, put one into the hacker. Not quite. I don't even think with heat that would have penned. That was just an auto ricochet, no matter what. But I'm trying to, one, see what the 430 is doing. And two, hide from the FE. I'm not doing a very good job at hiding from the FE, if I'm honest, because I'm perma-spotted by the hacker below me. You know, the FE was last spotted outside of render, so he's probably having to move, and this isn't an easy shot for him to hit. Although, in retrospect, what I'm doing right now is not a good option. I could have easily got hit by the FE there. So now what I want to do is try and peek up to here, see what the Char is doing. The Char is still last spotted over in this position. The Badger has moved all the way into their forest. So, he's not over there, unless he's at the very back of the map. So I'm going to go over, try and kill this hacker, activate the ability. I should reload before him for the next shot. And we then just put one in. Very nice. The 430 then shoots us as well. We then drop down, try to hide from the 430. We only have 974 hit points remaining, and we're up to 8.5k damage. Now the Char, I don't know where the Char is. I'm hoping that he's not directly next to me. But the fact that I keep getting spotted and the 430 isn't right there either, and I have more than enough view range, I believe I have about 490 meters with this setup, I should be able to spot the 430 if he peeks. But he's, as you can see, he's not peeking, but I'm still getting spotted, so I think the Char is still around here somewhere. Now the good thing is, as we get hit by artillery, that's not so good, is that the Badger is still moving through into their base. Now I want the Badger to keep going all the way up. If he can get into the C1 and then just keep going completely, I then have 3 shots onto anyone that he spots. And he's still fairly healthy. Like, he still has 982 hit points, so he has more than enough hit points to take a shot or two. Especially if the Char starts to shoot him from this position, I then know that I can just go and kill the Char. The Char was last spotted on 5 hit points. So it's now down to basically me and this Badger as our 430 just dies because he gets taken out by their 430. I can't really do much about him. Like, he's very, very hold down in this position. Yeah, not the greatest idea for me to sit still here, if I'm honest. I now ping the Badger to tell him just to move, because he's kind of being useless if he sits there doing nothing. He needs to keep going to try and spot them in his base, because even if he spots something, I can then shoot it. Like, I can shoot across into their base from here, so if the FE is sitting there behind the rock or whatever he might be doing, he's either going to get hit by the Badger or by me. Luckily for me, the FE gets spotted over there, activate the ability, we don't aim it very well and we miss, but we do get spotted when we fire, which leads me to believe that the Char is pretty close, or the 430 was ending up spotting us. The Char is there, we still have the ability activated, we snap him. Thankfully, Server Reticle was on my side for that one, and even the artillery is then spotted running over there. Still 8.5k, but we do have one blind into the FV. So now it is just a job of, can I kill the 430? Which we do have a shot, but yeah, we only have 2 heat shells left. Now, this is not an easy shot to hit because he is only exposing very, very little of his tank. 1 heat shell left now. To be honest with you, it won't really matter if I use heat or standard rounds. The heat is better, but yeah. Activate the ability, try and put one in. That does go in, so we have 1 more extra shot of damage. And now hopefully we can just finish off. I mean, we have the ability, but he's not making any peaks. 1 into the object 430, and then hopefully we can finish him off with the next one. Beautiful. 9.2k that is visible. I wonder how much we actually got. 7 kills, 10,159 damage, 843 spotting. That is 11k combined. That's only a first class. As you would imagine, that is top on the team for damage done, top on the team for kills, and top by XP. So we're actually nearly 1.5k, so maybe we're quite close to the mastery badge on this tank. And I lost only 110k, which honestly, if I'm doing 10k damage, I really don't mind. This tank is truly amazing. And the thing is with it, it's not OP because you can kill it. It's just insanely nice to play. The ability is phenomenal, the tank itself is great, and even the line leading up to it is pretty good. The pattern line is pretty nice to play. It's not exceptional by any means, but it's not bad either. And as the pattern has actually been buffed, this gets the same dispersion values for the bloom levels as the Hacker. So you really do get to feel how the tank is going to be at tier 11 before you go ahead and buy it. Although I will say the ability along with the better armor than the pattern does make the Hacker 10 times better in my opinion. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'm sure some people are going to complain that I fired full premium, but there you go. See you later.